Hello and welcome to this beginner-friendly route of the new 32 gems category for the current PokeyPoke demo. So this category is more beginner-friendly than the otherwise 100% category of 38 gems because we're not going to be getting any rubies and we're not going to be getting the black gem. Those are like the challenge gems of this game. So, you know, I think a beginner-friendly category deserves a beginner-friendly route, and that's what this video is all about. I'm assuming as you get in here that you have played the game before, but you don't, you know, you haven't tried speedrunning yet, or maybe you have and you just want to learn, but this is basically for everyone. So if you're brand new to speedrunning this game, then you're in the right place. Before we get started with the route, I just want to get some settings out of the way. Go to your controls and rebind, and we're gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna reset them back to default. Hold down, this is the default one, so just hold down the Alt key to bind the secondary input. I'm gonna do that on jump. I'm gonna scroll up on the mouse, and then the same on the poke. I'm gonna scroll down, and what this does effectively is I can spam those inputs really fast. I want you to practice this before we get in because there's a lot of text boxes we want to skip through as fast as possible. So just like get used to mashing these. The goal here is not to scroll as fast as possible because if I do that, I get one stab. If I space apart my inputs and scroll at a slower pace, you get a sort of machine gun effect. So yeah, do learn this. You may also want to bind the spear, the poke to mouse wheel up temporarily just to practice that. So once you are comfortable with spacing apart your inputs like this, and you're gonna be great at mashing and so on, then we can move on to other options. And by the way, we're not gonna be using so much mashing strats for the the actual gems, just for text boxes. But there are strats for more optimized routes and tricks that do use spam inputs a bit more. I like to put laser sight on, which lets me see a line when I throw the spear. It's just a nice convenience. Means you don't have to pay attention to where the mouse cursor is as much. And also I turned off screen shake and screen blur. Screen shake because it makes, without it, it makes visual cues more consistent. And screen blur because when we pause the game, you can see everything in clear detail. Not that that's important for this route right now, but it might be in the future. Anyways, that's it. Let's get into the run. Time starts when you get up from the ground, so when you do, continue holding right so that you skip a cutscene where the player character looks around. I like to break these combo blocks by walking past the block and then walking back to the left, like this, as there's fewer inputs involved. Otherwise, you might just stutter back and forth and miss the block. And coming up, we have our first text box, the spear. So we're gonna mouse wheel up and down to get it. And there's a gem right away as well. I'm not going to force you to do like really optimized inputs. We could climb walls by doing this and so on, but like that's really hard. So we're just gonna jump, poke, jump, poke, jump, poke the entire time. Jump, poke, just like that. Of course, you can go a little faster. I'm just kind of taking it slow on purpose, but you want to go about that fast anyway. And then for this one, we're just gonna poke to the right of that stone and hold left as you release the mouse button and poke the other side of the stone. And when you go back, you can die on this spike to teleport back to your checkpoint. Bounce up for this one. And for that one. And we're also gonna do a bit of bouncing back and forth as we climb up this drop here. And when we get here and you hit that button, we're gonna go to the left. And at this point, you can throw the spear. So throwing it into the ground and walking into it, you'll do a super vault. And throwing it into the wall and jumping off it, it's a super jump. Both will be useful, but not right now. This is one of the more difficult gems actually. We're kind of doing it early on so we get it out of the way. But it's also a good opportunity for me to teach you a bit more about the design, well, not design, but like the consistency and like doing things in a sort of a step-by-step manner. due to how the game is designed, we don't have to like go really fast through this whole room. We can take our time and do one input at a time. We're gonna start by moving the mouse over here to the top of this dirt. Click. And I can move the mouse all I want now. I don't gotta focus on that anymore. Now I'm gonna focus on the keyboard. Press up to pivot. Put the mouse over here. Jump and click. Pivot right. Keep holding right. Put the mouse over here. Release and click. Jump on top. Mouse over here. Click. Hold right. Mouse over here. Release and click. Mouse right below the stone. Jump and click. All right, so far we kind of just like everything's been one at a time. There's not much overlap between the mouse and the keyboard's inputs. Here on the other hand, we got to do a little bit of timing. We gotta pivot all the way up, jump, bounce off this wall, and remember when you bounce, make sure that the spear is pointing below the player, otherwise you won't get the upward movement. I'm not gonna hold any directions on the keyboard, by the way. I'm just gonna jump and then click twice like this. Jump, click, and then click, like so. Jump, click, and then click. Since I'm not holding any direction on the keyboard, I'm not gonna launch really fast away from the wall. I'm just gonna have a lot of time to click this. And then get around this block by just clicking the two sides of it in the dirt. Let me do it one more time, a bit faster. You can click this wall here at times, which means you can't pivot right. If that happens, just drop a little bit. And there we go. And as we go back, we're not going to go left because there's a teleportation statue over there. Instead, we're going to just vault all the way over here. And then to get across this gap, you just click around the middle of that stone there. And you'll make it across. And when we enter this trial, be sure to spam inputs as you go through. At least 3, but not too early. Like you have to wait a little bit, then do 3. It's easier to just spam like, I don't know, 5 or 6 clicks on the mouse like this. If you do that, you get a faster cutscene going in. And this one is a good place for me to explain reach. So when you're facing left, your reach is much bigger in the left direction than in the right direction. Right now, I can't poke that wall, but if I turn right, I actually can. From a pretty long distance as well. I can do it from over here. But from facing to the left, I can only do it from like about here. So the reach is much bigger. We're gonna couple this with another fact that in this room, we're gonna need to hold right to bounce far enough. If you don't, you'll just bounce like this. You'll land on the spikes. You have to hold right after you bounce. But we want to face left. So that there's more area for the mouse cursor to be when we hit this wall. If we face our way, we can hit it, but if we're too far away, we can't hit the wall. So we want to face left so we have more area for the mouse cursor to be. But if we press right too early after, for our bounce, then we'll face away from the wall and we'll miss it. So it's important that you press right after. And you can wait a pretty long time, actually. But look at the input viewer when I do this. It's like, I can wait a long time before I press D. So that you don't have to be super tight about it. And then for the way down, since we're stabbed into a wall on the right, we'll be facing the wall. So we have to tap left as we fall down. Stab, then press D. Stab that dirt, and then go up. Going back, we don't have to survive the gap. We can die on the spike. It's okay. Jump across is the easiest way up here. And I'm going to bounce and spam the right wall to go up here to just avoid this whole snake path of spikes. And here's a fun thing we can do when we leave is we're gonna throw the spear and just jump into it. Take a super vault on the way back. It's pretty fun. There is a gem above this mushroom. Just jump, bounce, and then stab this dirt. Then jump one more time. You'll make it up. Open the door, and we can do another vault right there. We're gonna go up here later. As going up is hard, but going down is harder, and we're gonna teleport instead. But before we teleport, we're gonna clear out the rest of Valley and the underground. Right here, to get up on this building, it's easiest if you jump down and then jump. And I'm gonna throw the spear. Without even moving the mouse cursor, it's like pointed straight on the spear right now. And when you do this, the spear will always land below you because you throw it as you move up, meaning that it'll be below you because you're moving up still, right? It's an easy, consistent way of getting super jumps off of walls like this. This trial has nothing extraordinary. Jump and bounce, bounce, hold left, and then just go ham on this wall, or these two walls on the way up. Right here, there's a gem down here. Throw the spear straight down rather than poke, as poking means you'll bounce off the block, the bomb block. It's better just if you throw and then poke to get out. This area is pretty tricky, but there's an easy way down. I'm going to stab about the right side on the underside of this dirt, and I'm gonna be pointed straight down. Not like over here, but like, you know, straight down-ish. If I let go and hold left, I go about this far. But remember what I said about reach earlier, is we have a much higher reach in the direction we are facing. So I'm gonna put the mouse cursor over here, release, hold left, and then click. That's a pretty easy way to do that. But do practice this one, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And for this one, best way to get over these spikes is just like get high on this dirt and then jump left, bounce right. And then remember to hold the direction you're moving after you bounce as you go through that one. Getting into that one to Robin can be a bit tricky to do consistently, so do practice that. And then we get to this one, which I think scares a lot of players, but don't worry, there's an easy way down, which is to snail your way down slowly, like this. Make sure you're between, or like at the very least, your goggles should be at the very height of this spike here, the tip of the spike. As long as the goggles are below the tip of the spike, you're good to go. And then right before you're about to hit the stone, make sure the spear is pointed below the player so you get the bounce, hold left, and then you'll bounce through there. And we're not gonna bother with that big jump there. It's too hard and we have gems to get anyways. We're gonna throw the spear right on this vine, jump into it, and we'll get Hippo. Jump over the spike, and you can even vault a couple times here to go faster. Right here, we're gonna throw the spear into the slope. It'll point to the left. As you walk through it, you'll lock into it as the super jump starts, and then you stop moving when you lock in, so you will just go straight up. So now we're ready to go up at that path, that junction we saw earlier. So we're just gonna have slightly iffy movement. That's okay. And when we get here, we're gonna jump and bounce, and we're gonna just jump out here. Whenever you have these like blocks, like steps that go upwards, inwards like that, I call them inverted steps. Best way to get around them is just like poke the very corner of one, then pivot left, and then you just jump around. Same thing happens right here. Just pivot right, jump around. Pivot right, jump around. This trial doesn't have much like consistent like setups and help. You kind of just have to get used to this. Remember about reach is you want to face left as you hit this wall here. So we're gonna drop from here, face left, tap left, and then we're gonna click here, click the bomb, and bounce up and get this. It is very difficult. Right, that is difficult. There's 3 different clicks you have to get in rapid succession. I could not find a consistent way around it. On this room, however, I did find one. So you can do this bounce on this like jotting out piece here, or you can look at where this spike is pointing. It points right between these two. Throw the spear between those 2 spikes and just hold right, and you'll touch it. And when you get over here, just like poke this at the very peak of your jump. You'll get here. And then we can get around the spikes and get to the gem. Inverted steps going the other direction, going down, is very easy. Just like go here, like point the spear like 45 degrees up from the player, and then just spam it. Spam, 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 spam. And you will just go through it automatically. It's pretty fun. Hold left, by the way, as you do this. Like hold left on the keyboard. Here's another tricky one. This is Charlie. It is a vertical tower with spikes on either side. The way I'm gonna do this is with very little keyboard. I'm just gonna press spacebar to jump, and that's it. Then it's all about steady rhythm to click each wall back and forth, like this. Well, I messed it up there. It's all about rhythm, right? It's possible to go too fast. It's possible to go too slow. This one just takes practice. It's not one of the easy ones, and you know, for that there's a reason for it. Is that it's easy to forget what tempo you're supposed to have. But yeah, it's easier to not involve keyboard at all and just jump once, then do the rest with just the mouse. As you fall down through here, you can just press you hold the down key as you fall, and you'll fall straight through the semi-solid here. Without even like touching it. This part is pretty difficult, but there's an easy way around it. You're supposed to do this and then like hope you don't touch the spikes. But you can also just throw the spear between the third and fourth spikes right there. And you'll always touch him when you hold left. So it gives you time to aim over here and then click when the player's right below. To get around this spike is really tricky, actually. I just spear like about the bottom half of this block. Like imagine there's one half here and then one half here. Bottom half, go pivot so you're as far to the left as possible, and then just like jump left and then curve back around to the right and then click this. There's just no easy way for me. I haven't found one. I'm sorry. That one takes practice. Here we're gonna do our jump spear technique. Jump because the crumble blocks are gonna disappear immediately. And then we're just gonna, if you're able to get this high on the pivot, by the way, you can just bounce on this left wall. Otherwise you have to bounce on the right. But no matter what you do, don't press anything on the keyboard. It's just much more consistent to just click like we did with Charlie. Same thing. And that's it for Valley and the Underground. So now we're gonna go here. Tap up with the spear. And you'll see Crash Site is already chosen by default. So what you can do is you just tap twice. Click twice and you'll just go there. Just tap the right side of those ones. Spear that one. And then the right side of that one again. To get up to point. Here, I'm just gonna bounce off this bomb block and just spam this wall, and you'll always land here. You might think you're about to fall off. Nope, you'll always land right there if you spam the wall. No directions held, by the way, while I'm bouncing. And then we just do our jump spear technique here. You can do it on the last one too if you want for consistency. It is possible to just pivot up and jump as well. But not all. If you spear the very bottom of that last dirt block, you're just not gonna make it in. It's better to super jump for consistency. And same thing here. We're gonna bounce. We're never gonna fall off. Jump and bounce onto this. Jump and spear that. And here I'm just going to spear the bottom of this. I'm gonna hold left this whole time and position the spear so it's like 45 degrees down to the right from the player. And as you pass this bomb block, stab it to do that. And for this next one, I'm just going to bounce on the top of it. So the first one, we bounce on the right side, or the left side, but we go, yeah, on the left side, we bounce left. And then on the second one, we bounce on the top side. This climb is pretty hard, actually. What I like to do for consistency is get on this block, and then I do an angle search. It's just a term I made up, but basically it's where I point the spear straight up. When I jump, I curve it to the left. I messed it up that time, actually. What I want is to hit the left wall here. You don't want the bottom side. If you get the bottom side, I think it's probably even impossible to get to there, right? So you need to get the top side. You could also just super jump off of this to guarantee it. That's probably what you should do, actually. Just super jump and you'll get up there. And to get up here, we have to bounce. No directions held there, by the way. Get this one, and then You might get the top of this block, you might get the side of it. It's probably better to go on the underside, in my opinion. So that looks a bit more like this. Where you get the underside of this block. If you don't get the underside of that one, just jump, and the block will go away. And you hit the underside of this one, and then the underside of that one. And I like to pivot away as much as possible here, or like up. If you're up on this side, you're gonna bonk this wall. If you're up on this side, because I want to be as high as possible for this next jump and bounce, because the block here is really high up as well. Over here, I risk bonking. If I'm over here, I'm not. So I'm gonna do that. Now, you might be facing left here. I'm facing right. You might be facing left. So when you jump up, you want to tap right. Basically, always do it no matter what direction you're facing, just to be safe. And after my bounce, I'm not gonna hold any directions. Just do that. Gives you a lot of time to bounce up. And then we're gonna bounce like that, and then we're gonna jump and bounce one more time like that. For this one, by the way, I probably should show this. It's probably best to hold a direction for this bounce, hold left for this one, but you don't have to for the second one. You can do it if you want to. In this next one, we're gonna make use of coyote jumps, which is where you walk off a block and then press spacebar to jump. And I'm jumping in the air. You might notice if you pay close attention. That's the first thing we'll do. We're gonna jump out of this hole and then hold right to get up against this wall. Make sure to point the spear straight down. Look at where the hand is and point the spear straight down. And then you can bounce. But it's not high enough. So when you're at the peak of your jump, you do it again. In fact, you do it at the peak of your jump twice. Peak, peak, right? It's also possible to learn that timing, that rhythm as muscle memory. As you re-enter trials, you can just hold the spear straight up the entire time, and the game will just let you in on frame 1, by the way. It's useful for this one and the previous trial. And to get to over here, the intended way is to like do this and throw a spear over there and then you miss, right? It's really hard. Easier is just to do the same thing we did earlier and bounce up here. This time you don't have to press left after you bounce. You can press it like right as you do it because you're so close to the wall anyways. And in fact, I think you should wait. You should press left a little bit, then bounce because it gives you that extra bit of distance. And I have to throw the spear onto the block, vault off it, and just skip all this crap and go sit over here, right? It's much easier. I really do recommend it. It's faster and easier, honestly. It's way better. And we're gonna just vault off of this to go with speed off of the cliff here. Make sure you do land on the sand here. You should land on the sand. But if you land in the water, just get on the sand so your spawn point is over there. And then we have more inverted steps in water this time. So we're gonna jump under this one, and for the second two, I'm going to pivot so that the head is below the ceiling. Don't do it too far down though, because you'll touch the spike. So just be like you know, below the ceiling, and you'll be able to hold left, and you'll get down there every time. Big dive into here. Jump out of the water, then super jump, because if you do it in the water, you might not get as much height because the water will like stop you a little bit. Don't hold right here because you'll touch the spike. Just wait a little bit, then hold right, and then you can go into this trial, which is the last trial, and also the last gem is in here. And it's like a hard one too, so you know, sorry about that. But there's a way through, so I'm gonna show you. Make sure you're between these two spikes before you poke the other side. Just like slowly pivot down. Do the same thing I showed you with the inverted steps underwater earlier. Be barely below the ceiling, then tap right as you release the mouse. Here, it's best to stab the left wall. If you stab the right wall, you might bounce on the stone and die here or here, so just don't do that. Then go to the other side. Here, pivot up and then quickly release and click again so you hit this floor. Then poke, or rather point the mouse on the other side of this dirt block. And when the spike is down, hold right, release, and click again to get to the other side. Click the bottom, or near the bottom of this dirt, pivot down. Click the right side of this dirt block, pivot right. Make sure you're on the right side, because right here we're going to release the mouse button and keep holding right. If you're on the middle, you'll touch that spike. If you don't, you'll get right through and you finish the run. Just like that. And that is the whole route. I hope that made sense. I hope I gave some nice setups to get you started. Of course, you should practice these things before you go into your run. And keep in mind, for your first, or to improve your time, don't focus on optimizing right away. Focus on low death count. There's one intentional death early on in the game, but besides that one, any death outside of that is unintentional. So, unless I forgot one, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's only one. So just focus on low death count. Then, after that, you can start to optimize. And if you want any inspiration for that, watch other runs on the leaderboard. And ask in the Discord, right? And as a final note, there are links in the description. You can go to both, you can go to our Discord server. That's the official speedrunning Discord for PokeyPoke. Go in there, lots of runners in there, happy to answer questions. Also, I'll put a link to the leaderboards and other resources for this run. I haven't gone into it in this video, but we have an auto splitter for live split, so you don't have to do that yourself. As well as, I'll also provide a splits file for this route, so you'll have that all ready for you. If you don't know what these things mean, go in the Discord and ask us for help, because, yeah, that's a different video, perhaps. Not something I will cover here. Anyways, that's it. Good luck on your run, and have fun speedrunning, because we love seeing new runners. Yeah, go for it. Hello, Editor ATS here. I know this video wasn't that edited, but anyway. I did a test run of this category with low optimization and a few unintentional deaths and got this time right here. Just to give you a benchmark. I think sub 10 is a good challenge time. In fact, I challenge you to get sub 10 with this route. Very possible, as you can see. Maybe even sub 9, I don't know. To get some optimizations in there, I think you can do it. I believe in you.